Hello and welcome back to For the Love of Oats, with myself, Jack Richardson, and of
You
course,
forgot who you were.
you what?
I said you forgot who you were for a minute.
I always do. I always have to remind
I know.
myself. That's why I have a sticker. My name is Jack. And of course, we have Vicky Masita joining us.
Hello.
How are we?
I'm all right. I'm in a different vicinity today, so you have me in my living room, which is nice.
It's good.
In a comfy leather chair, which I can recline in, which is nice.
Try not to fall asleep during the podcast.
Might do. You never know.
So, what have you been up to, Vic?
Oh, same as usual, really. Same shit, different day, which is quite nice. It's quite boring, actually, at the moment, isn't it? I mean, a day in the life is never realistically boring unless you make it boring. But to be honest with you, being in lockdown, every day is the same. It is like Groundhog Day, because I'm still not getting into a gym. In essence, I'm getting into, obviously, my home gym, my gymnasium in the garage, which is all the fun. But yeah, only a few more days until we can actually get into a leg press or a pendulum squat or something like that. So that's all cool beans. Yeah, it would be good. Did bench press a PB double though.
What did you get?
71 for a double.
Holy shit. Holy shit.
Yeah, buddy.
do you know what? That photo that you uploaded, I think it was yesterday, where you were doing your side chest.
Yeah.
I was with Hayden, and I said to him,
Hayden.
Yeah, I was like, wow, her chest is actually really, really good. And he goes, Jack, she's a bench press champion. I'm like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Funny that.
That I can see the correlation. Yeah.
Do you know what though? Even though that is the case, and my chest is very overdeveloped for like who I am in my entire entity, if you know what I mean. It's one of my obviously stronger points and stuff. It's not very good when you want to wear dresses to go out because you just look fucking huge. So you can't wear like a low cut. You can't wear a low cut top because of all of like the chesticles, and that's terrible.
It doesn't sound like a problem. It does not sound like a problem.
Well, you see, to some people it is, and to other people it's not. I don't particularly give a shit because it's like, this is who I am and I'm just going to wear what I want to wear.
Exactly.
And if I have big chest and you don't like it, well then that's your fucking problem, not mine.
Exactly. That's the best way to go about it. It's like, I feel like, I don't know, some people care too much about what other people think.
For sure.
So they dress in like, oh right, I can't wear this because what the outsiders think, what the people outside think, how they judge me.
What do they think?
But you dress how you want to dress. You dress how you want to feel. You know, whatever makes you feel good. At the end of the day.
Yeah, that's very true. I did. I went shopping because it was my birthday. How did I forget that? It was my birthday last week. And I had a lovely day, and it was very nice. And I actually had a full day off being an athlete, because I just needed a little bit of downtime from the mindset of being an athlete, if that makes sense.
Of course.
So, yeah, I mean, sometimes it can get all consuming as well, can't it? You know, just having to be on it all the time, tracking every single time, every single morsel of food, tracking all of your training. And I'm not saying that I dislike it, because I don't. You know, I absolutely love it, and that's the reason why I do it. But sometimes it's just like, do you know what? Sometimes I just need a fucking break from it. So I had a break from it.
Everyone needs a break. Everyone needs a break.
So I had a break from it, and I was just a person. I was just a normal person, a normal mum, a wife, and all the rest of it. And I walked around the shops and I tried some clothes on, and yeah, they're not made for bodybuilders or powerlifters or anything. It's just like, oh, all right then.
I've stopped shopping for clothes like in shops because nothing looks right or just fits right, and it's like, I'm not doing it. It's a waste of time. I spend most of my time putting clothes on, like, oh, and then try another one. Oh, God. So, I don't know. I think I'm destined now to wear gym clothes forever.
That's it. I mean, the thing is, though, with blokes, you can kind of get away with it because you can wear a pair of jeans. Although no bodybuilder, I personally think, no bodybuilder should just wear those comfy fit jeans because I just think that they look crap. But then I don't think that they should wear skinny jeans either because they look even worse. Like, have you seen like the big, huge guys, and sometimes they wear the what are those jeans called? Freddy jeans, right? So they're tapered in at the waist, but then they're really tight on their legs. And it's like, oh, mate, you shouldn't do that. And then they wear shirts that are like 2 sizes too small for them. And I just think, oh, you really shouldn't do that. And yeah, just please don't do it. Just buy a shirt that fits you. But there is one.
To be fair,
You do it, don't you?
I don't do it. I used to do it when I was in college. I used to be one of those guys, right? Now I got into lifting, and then in college, it happens. I gained a little bit of an insecure mind. I was like, I don't want to leave unless I look like I train. So I don't want to leave the house. So I wear a top that makes me look like I have muscle. Which, looking back, I then had the epiphany of, why am I going to the gym? I'm going to the gym to improve myself. So why am I thinking, why is it making me more insecure that I'm going into the gym? So now I literally go and wear whatever I want. Like I don't care about looking big. It's all, it's about, like, bodybuilding is about how big you are, not how big you look. Do you know what I mean? I mean, you can wear.
That's true.
It's very easy to wear a t-shirt that's 3 sizes too small and to whatever. I now wear really baggy clothes. To be fair, I've gone the complete opposite way, and the baggy clothes is just for comfort. I'm really, really comfy in baggy clothes, and it's whatever. I'll wear whatever I feel like wearing, really. I wear stuff mainly for comfort, to be fair.
Rather than confidence.
Yeah, like, because I've just had a complete change in mindset. Obviously, I was a kid back then, and a lot of people go through it, and you see a lot of people go into adulthood wearing it. I'm pretty sure I've heard of a bodybuilder die or become, very, very ill from wearing like a kid's t-shirt, and it was restricting the blood flow, and I think they died from it.
Really?
The t-shirt was that tight.
What the hell are they fucking wearing? What material was it? It would rip.
I don't know. I have no idea.
That seems really silly. But again, though, you see, we say it's really silly, whereas back in the day, women were wearing corsets. And those corsets were shrinking their waistline to like 14 inches, which is ridiculous.
Yeah. It happens, man. You can really get inside your own head at the end of the day. And this is why it's very, very important to learn the skill of not giving a fuck.
Yeah, definitely a very good thing there.
That will set you free. Because this is the analogy that I like. I like to sort of think of is like, if you were to give yourself a challenge, and you were to challenge yourself, like, right, okay, I'm going to make sure no one judges me. You will fail indefinitely. So, why not act the way that you want to act? People will judge regardless, and the people that are judging, that's really on them. That's really maybe on their insecurity, probably why they're judging. Maybe because you have something they don't, or whatever, and like it's not on you. So you shouldn't really go out and try to make sure that no one's judging you. You should go out, be yourself, and not really care. And if people judge, they judge, and that's on them.
Yeah, I mean, it's a funny conversation, really, because obviously people do judge, and it is on them. And I do agree. I do think that a lot more people should take on the art of not giving a fuck, because I do think it's very, very important. However, bodybuilding is a subjective sport, and you are there to be judged.
Yeah,
So if you are a bodybuilder, yes, you do have to go through. I do think that having an off season as a bodybuilder is very, very important to really become accustomed with not giving a fuck what other people think. Definitely.
exactly. Yeah, that's again that's a mindset that's helped me a lot because I've been not I've been detached from my physique, not so much that I let it go to shit, but just enough so I can progress and not care that I'm getting a little bit fluffy and my abs are going or anything like that. And I think it's important to have that sort of balance, really.
Definitely,
I
definitely.
Yeah, I'll look however I need to get to where I need to be. So if that means I need to look worse before I get better, before I look better, then that's absolutely fine. It's part of the process.
Mm.
It's yeah,
It's an interesting one, isn't it? Especially when it comes to things like what you're going to wear and everything like that. But I have found a really good tip if you are a little bit more self-conscious about your shoulders being overdeveloped, or as women I'm talking about, you know, wearing a dress and stuff, or your chest being overdeveloped, put a jacket on or put a shawl on. So I got a really nice jacket to go with my jeans. And it was the first time that I actually wore people clothes for quite a long time, and I managed to go out for food. So it was obviously my little boy had a birthday in February, and we managed to go out for food for his. But then Scott had his birthday, and that was in lockdown, so we couldn't go out for food at that point. So I was like, "Oh, I've resigned myself to not going out for food anyway." And guess what? Pubs were open, so I'm like, "Woo! I can go out for some food." So I did, and you know, it was fucking weird. It was really
was it?
weird. You have this app that you've got to order your food on the app, pay for it on your app, and you're not allowed to leave your table. You only have a certain amount of time to eat. And after that, they kick you out. They didn't kick me out; they wouldn't dare. But you only have the table service. You can't go up to the bar. You can't order your drink. You even have to book a table if you want to just sit there and have a drink.
Surely that's not every
Sometimes it's
restaurant.
like it was a lot of effort. It really was a lot of effort. And you know what made me
Really?
laugh even more? When they actually gave us the glasses that we were drinking our water out of, he picked them up like that. So his fingers were on the bit where you put your mouth. And it's like, so you've got all of these precautions in place, and yet you're picking up glasses like that. Fucking hell, man.
Yeah,
Oh, it was very funny.
yeah. No, you see, this is the thing. This is the thing. It just there's a lot of contradictory going on.
Oh, it's nonsensical. It's
Yeah.
complete and utter nonsensical. It really is. But hey ho. Moving swiftly on from that, what have you been up to? How is the diet going?
It's going all right. It is going all right. I'm starting to not look fat, which is nice.
Always a bonus.
Like the performance in the gym is still going up in some sessions quite nicely. It's such a bizarre feeling that this mini cut because it's the first time I've just crashed my calories without
Mm.
gliding through. Usually I'm just used to gliding through and prep. But it's not really challenging at all, to be fair. But it's weird because it's also the first time I've dieted assisted as well. So
Sure.
I'm like the scale weight is not my friend at the
Oh,
moment.
really?
It is not. No, because it stays like that all the time. Sometimes it goes like that, and it goes like that, and then maybe it will go like that. And I'm just getting leaner now. Usually, I'm not when like I'm dieting and I was natural and everything. It was
Mm.
boom, boom, boom like that. But
Makes
now it's
sense.
just more stable. Like I've gotten you know I've gotten leaner this past week, but my weight hasn't changed at all.
But that's a good thing.
It is good. It is a good thing, but it's something that's new to me. So I'm learning to not really to now more than ever to not really take too much notice of the scale
For sure.
at all.
Do you think it's like it's more of a head fuck realistically?
Well, again, like I know the reason why, but
Mm.
sometimes I'm going like, cool. I'm feeling like I'm gonna make a drop. I look at myself. I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. And then I weigh myself and I'm like, no, I've actually gone up. Interesting. So now I very quickly just learned to sort of detach myself from that. Obviously, just keep weighing myself and just use it as data, you know, but just not really have an attachment on that at all. It's kind of like, you know, when you're finishing up prep and you're probably, you know, you're reversing your calories and that, and
Yeah.
you're looking at the scale weight, and your physique is probably changing a little bit, but the scale weight isn't changing at all.
Yeah.
It's a little bit similar to that. So I don't know. Plus, I don't know whether it's this dieting feeling. It's making me want to compete.
Really?
It is making me want to compete. Yeah.
Oh, good job there aren't any shows going on then, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I suppose so. I mean, there might be a cheeky show at the end, but I don't know. I don't know. It's like I need to. I think it's just because I'm dieting, and that's just in my head.
Yeah.
All the other times I've dieted, it's been for a show, so like that's probably where that's coming from. But saying that, I'm like 30 pounds off my weight limit now. I'm thinking this
Oh,
is
really?
this is what's in my head. I'm like, right, I've got 30 pounds to lose from my weight limit. If I was to just finish this mini cut and then grow, will I be over the weight limit by the time it's come to prep, or am I just being daft? Again, I don't know the scale weight. This is a new thing for me, so the scale weight's a bit like I don't know how to take it. It's very
When
new
you do your
territory for me.
weigh-in, are you weighing in the night before? I'm assuming.
I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure. I will need to ask other competitors when they do weigh in, because if I do the night before, I can just go in real flat and then weigh in and then
Dry.
carb up. Yeah.
Just going, you can, I mean, it's basically what we do with powerlifters when they need to make weight. So we just basically deplete them, especially it's all, I mean, I only do that if we have a 24-hour weigh-in. Same with strong men and women and stuff like that. So if they need to make a specific weight, as long as they have a 24-hour weigh-in, then it's at that point that I'll do them a water cup or water manipulation. Do you know what I mean? That's the only thing that I would do. But other than that, it's quite simple it is so easy to make weight. I mean, I had one, it's one of those things that people just kind of think that making weight is really difficult to do. Whereas quite honestly, it's really easy to make weight. Now with bodybuilding, it can be slightly different because you know how people do these depletions, and they do carb depletions and then they try and carb up. And what they do is they do like a 3-day deplete and then a 3-day carb or something like that, carb up. In terms of like the physiology that goes along with it, you can really mess that up to the point where it's really difficult for you to hold on to those carbohydrates. And the reason being is because you deplete and run flat for too long. And even a small or even if you get to 30% depleted, because you'll never be fully depleted anyway, but if you go to 30% depleted and run that low depletion for 3 days, your physiology, the actual biochemistry of your internal organs and your internal body will stop the uptake of glycogen to a less efficient manner. And it will take you a lot longer. So I don't know if you remember when I competed in 2017. In fact, it was the one when I was with the red hair and stuff. I was told that I could have been fuller. Now, the thing is that I ran, which was my depletion. Now, I don't think that this is depletion for anybody else, but I'm on an obscene amount of carbohydrates and always have been. But my depletion was like 100 grams of carb. And that's not even that fucking low. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I was running flat as hell on that, and I was really, really flat, and I was really dry as well and things. And when I tried to load, it took 1,800 grams of carbs, not 1,800 calories, 1,800 grams of carbs. That's a fuckload of carbohydrates. For somebody as tiny as me as well, and bearing in mind, I was less than 100 pounds.
That sounds obscene.
It was obscene. And yet my feedback was I could have been fuller. And that's literally because I ran flat, ran depleted for too long, and I just struggled to uptake the carbs and hold them in.
I've experienced this as well. Like, so the same carbs in my earlier shows of last year, I was running on, and I was nice and full and things like that. Later shows, they didn't even touch me. Had the same carbs, and I was flat as shit. And I needed a lot more carbs to actually regain that fullness. And that fullness, once it was there, it wasn't even staying long.
No, you use them too quick.
Yeah.
You lose it too.
Yeah, so I was going flat very, very easy towards the end of prep.
Yeah, but that's the thing about, you know, human biology and biochemistry is it does pay to know a little bit more about those kind of things, because that way you can actually know how low you can deplete somebody for how long, and then in comparison to how quickly you can carb them up, especially if you've got a weight class to make. Now, I know that in the BMBF, they weighed people in the night before, because I know our man Jack, he had to get onto the stage with the heavyweights because he just fucked his way up. he fucked up his way in.
Yeah.
Bless him. I mean, he looked bloody good. He held his own, to be perfectly honest with you, on that heavyweight stage. But yeah, I mean, you know what it's like. If you're weighing in at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, or 5 p.m. or whatever, you're going to have water weight, stress weight, food in your belly, undigested stuff. You're going to weigh different and heavier at 5 p.m. in the evening time as you would do in the morning.
I'm going to have to wake up at 4 p.m.
Yeah. You're
That's
just going to have to wait.
to handle that.
Wake up at 4, get a bin bag on, sit in a sauna, and just like have a shitload of diuretics, and then you'll make weight fine.
That's the way. And
It's insane.
that is the way. That's the advice we're giving out.
No, please don't do that. On some of the, when people do try to cut, like MMA fighters or boxers are the worst buggers for it, because they do everything in a week, because they have to try and make weight, right? And they do everything. It's horrific. They get in sweat baths, and you know the amount that they kind of fuck themselves up with, because they've got to water load first. And the danger with water loading is hypernatremia, because you just basically you poison yourself. You know, you poison yourself with water. Too much water is a bad thing, and you get hot flushes, and you get temperature increases, and you just feel sick. And then sometimes you can be sick, but then after that, then you've got to pee all of it out. So you have you have swelling all over the place, and then you have to take these diuretics, or, you know, obviously sometimes they take natural diuretics, or they take non-natural diuretics, whichever they have to do. But, you know, I've seen boxers even the morning of their official weigh-in, and they're still 1.5 kilos overweight. And then that's when they go and put on the sweatsuits and do sprints to sweat, or, you know, I mean, you imagine being that depleted and then having to sprint. Or they sit in a sauna.
How long is the weigh-in before the fight?
They do it in a full 24 hours. So, you know, when you see all of the fighters on TV and they have the press conference and stuff, and they go nose to nose. So they'll weigh in, and then it will be a full 24 to maybe 36 hours after that they'll fight.
I cannot imagine that, because I've seen people literally doing everything that you said, and they're crawling to the scale to weigh in, to do the weigh in, like UFC fighters, and then they've got to fight like the day after. Like that sounds insane to me. Like,
oh, it is. It's completely insane. But their hydration and replenishment protocol is completely different. So you'll see that the minute they walk off the scales and they do like all the photos and things like that, and they actually start talking to the press managers and things, you'll see that they have a drink of water on it. But that water isn't water, that's electrolytes and rehydration protocols and things. Because at first they were having these horrendous cuts and then IV rehydrating. So they were actually using it through an intravenous drip. And then that's when people were dying and stuff like that. So they made it illegal after that. But there is a big rehydration protocol that you have to be very, very, very careful with. I've only ever done it with one powerlifter, and she had to lose approximately 8 kilos in 10 days. Mate, I was not fucking happy about it. I was like, no, I do not want to do it. I do not like it, and all the rest of it. But you know what? She did it. And the morning of, she was driving down in order to do it. And they have a 2-hour weigh-in window. And she was on a 24-hour weigh-in. So they have a 2-hour weigh-in window between 8 and 10. and she weighed in that morning. She's like, I'm a kilo over. Right. Okay. So she'd lost 7 kilos in 9 days just through food manipulation and water manipulation. And then the morning of, she was driving down. I said, get the heaters on in the car and wrap up, you know, get a bin bag on, sit on bin bags, do everything like that, because you cannot go this far now and not fucking make weight. So she went all the way down there. I said, well, once you get down there, just get onto the official scales, fucking get naked for all I care. Just get on and let me know what your weight is. And she was 0.4 over. So 400 grams over. I was like, fine, get your bin bags back on, start rowing. So she did. She sat on a rower and she got on the scales officially at like 10 minutes to by the end of the weigh-in window. And she'd made weight. She was 100 grams under. But from that, I mean, that was hard. And I do not like doing those kind of protocols. I refuse to do them. But she went on, we had a complete rehydration protocol. I was on FaceTime with her every single hour because I wanted to see what she looked like as well. Because the other thing is that you can't rehydrate or replenish too quick, because otherwise you'll be sick, you know, and that'll cause your levels to go the other way and you'll just get completely fucked up. So we had to do things really slowly. So even though she was like, I do want to do this, I was holding her back a little bit. No, you've got to do it slowly. You've got to do it slowly. But, and you know, she did very, very well. She replenished about 6 kilos overnight, something along those lines, just under 6 kilos. Then obviously went and did her powerlifting comp. She did very well, set records and things like that. And I will actually say as well, she was an assisted lifter. It wasn't a natty individual. Again, I would not do that with a natural individual because, again, things are very, very different. And I'm not going to tell you the kind of protocols that I use because some stupid bastard will just kind of go, well, Vic said it on a podcast. So, yeah, I'm not going to do that kind of thing. But yeah, if you ever do need to try and make weight, you do have to do it under the guidance of somebody who actually knows what the fuck they're talking about. Because there are so many people out there going, oh yeah, well, I've read a water cut and I know how to do it. No, you don't.
It's a dangerous thing. It is a dangerous thing. And whenever I see athletes doing it, I'm like, wow, you've got to be very meticulous with it because it could very easily go south.
Completely.
Yeah.
The same with prep though, isn't it? You know, I mean, prep can easily go south. It's not just the fact about water loading. Although I do have to say, why the fuck did bikini athletes water load? Oh dear Lord. If you're a bikini athlete, don't talk about water manipulation. You don't need to water manipulate as a bikini athlete. You don't.
I think it's just, do you know what I think it is? A lot of bikini athletes have coaches who coach, obviously, bodybuilders, and they don't know how to coach bikini athletes. It's not the same, but they will do it the same. And that's why they just come up with these, you know, ridiculous things. And
it's the cookie cutter protocol. That's what I like to call it.
Yeah, and then they've probably depleted for like the week, and then they're smashing loads of donuts and stuff backstage.
Yeah, exactly. And then they wonder why they're sick or bloated or, you know, can't fit in the
and like, at that point. Oh God, I was bloated on stage.
Funny that.
Yeah. But I'm see, this is the thing. But my mindset is, I don't know. I may go over next year. I may not even be close to being underweight, because when you are prepping, you more often than not lose more than you think you are going to. So.
Oh yeah, sure.
So that's what's in my head as well. I could be concerned, and then I could just end up like really making weight. There's been plenty of bodybuilders where you look at them and you go, how are you that weight? How? Like, especially 212 bodybuilders. They, like Flex Lewis is a great example. Well, pretty much most of them. You look at them, you go, how are you 212 pounds?
It's because it's an illusion. It is all an illusion. And they're not 212 pounds on stage. That's the thing that you've got to remember as well.
Because they do weigh in and then they will carb up after. Like,
exactly.
So, yes, they do a 212 pound roughly when they're weighing in.
Yeah.
But even so, it's like, how could you, even when you're flat, be like that?
Oh,
be
well, this is the
like,
thing. But this is it, you see, and this is exactly what I was talking about with boxers. The really, really famous one is Ricky Hatton. Do you see him when he was weighing in for his lightweight? So when he did his lightweight weigh-in, he looked he looked like a walking skeleton, like he just walked out of a concentration camp. He looked horrendous. And then the very next day, obviously going into a fight, he looked like a completely different person because he was huge. And it was like, Jesus Christ. And that's what dehydration, depletion looks like. You know, you look like a skeleton, and then all of a sudden you look like a fucking bodybuilder and you look shredded. And you're vascular and, you know, everything else in between. It's quite
you can look very, very different. When I was going flat on prep last year, I looked like a child, and I was
yes.
looking at myself and I was thinking, as if I'm competing in a British, I don't even look like I lift.
Yes. I
And then I
know.
called up, I'm
You
like,
see, women never look like they lift. They just don't. In anything, you know, I mean, you look at me, I'm a teeny tiny human being. I'm a teeny tiny human, but then I flex, and then I'm massive.
there you go, there you go.
Not so massive at the moment though. I'm having this bigorexia type thing that I don't look huge at the moment.
Do you know what? That is part of bodybuilding. That really
I
is.
know.
I think once you get into the gym, that will probably die down a little bit when you see that you are a titan.
Massive.
You-
I'm
uh,
massive.
but no,
So,
that is part of it. Like I said, when I was a kid in college, I sort of had that. That's why I was wearing the tight stuff, and it's like I just had to remind myself. I was like, why am I what am I doing? I'm going to the gym. I'm getting better, but I'm feeling worse.
yeah.
I know I'm progressing, but I'm feeling like I'm getting smaller, or I'm not, or I'm just not big, or whatever. And I was like in my head when I was 16 or whatever, before I even started lifting, I didn't have a problem, but now I do. But
Yeah.
I look better than I did when I was 16. So what is that all about? I think
It's again, this is just like this mental head fuck with bodybuilding. And I think that's what you need to call the title of the podcast, the head fuck of bodybuilding.
the head fuck
Because
of bodybuilding.
everybody goes the head fuck of bodybuilding on For the Love of Oats. Because it's a complete and utter head fuck. And I think it transpires into most sports as well. Because I mean, if you look at powerlifting, you look at people and they say, "Oh, I can't lift that," and it's like, "Yeah, but you can. You know that you can lift that because you can do that for a triple, so that's easy." But
Mm,
they automatically have it as a barrier in their head, and they're like, "No, I can't lift that." You know, I was looking at 72 and a half kilos at one point on the bar, and I just thought, "There's no way I'm going to be able to lift that." And yet now I'm doubling 71, and I can easily pause press 72 and a half.
yeah.
So it's like, do you know what? That's really bloody good. I've got it in my head at the moment that there's no way I'm going to be able to do this rowing challenge. One, because I actually want to do it now. I'm getting to that point where it's like, okay, I'm ready. I just want to do it now because I'm getting a bit bored and a bit pissed off and I just want to get it done. Plus, because I'm not a full 3-lift lifter, as in a power lifter, and I'm still having to do the 3 lifts, which is good because when you're in lockdown and you've got a barbell, it's pretty good, you
It's got
know?
to be your best friend, the barbell.
Exactly. So you've got to do that. But the fact is that 3-lift training for me is fucking boring. I mean, I did a podcast about this yesterday with a mate of mine. Which is don't oh, I'm not going to plug that. Cheeky plug, don't fear the weight. Go and listen to it. But I did that. I know, look at that eye roll. Oh, you get more listeners on this one anyway, so it's fine. But yeah, so we did one on that one, and it's just like if you go in my personal opinion, from coming from a full SBD and then going to a bench and just being a hybrid and just doing a bench only lifter with bodybuilding, that was my passion. I freaking loved it and I still love it and I miss it and I can't wait to get back to doing it. But actually doing full SBD realistically, oh man, it is boring. It really is. It's like you're going into the gym and you're doing three singles. Go in and do 4 singles, or go in and do 3 sets of 3, or go in and do 5 sets of 5. And it's like, fuck sake. And you look at the clock, and because of obviously being so heavy, you've got to have longer rest periods. So you look at your watch and you're like, I've been here for an hour and I have done squats.
Yeah.
This is now annoying me. And now I've got to spend another hour doing deadlifts. And people are like, oh, you shouldn't squat and deadlift on the same day. Well, guess what? On a powerlifting meet, you do. So you might as well train that way.
Exactly.
You know? So, I mean, that always surprises me when powerlifters are like, oh, I can't squat and deadlift on the same day. Well, when you're on a platform and you're competing, you have to squat, then bench, and then deadlift.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to get used to doing it. But yeah, it's just one of those. So for me, it's quite boring. So I want to get it over and done with now. I was actually thinking about bringing it forward, but then it's just like, well, do I do that? Do I not? I don't know. It's already set in stone that it's...
When is it? When is it?
It's the 16th of August. So I've still got like another 4 weeks.
Wow. That is
I know.
That's hefty.
But then if you think about it, it's 4 weeks.
Yeah.
And if I was doing a bodybuilding show or a powerlifting meet, it's not like I can just kind of go, do you know what, I'll just bring it forward. Can't do that.
Yeah.
But I think that people do feel the same way when they're like 2 or 3 weeks out from prep. Yeah, an actual stage prep. They're just like, oh, I just want to do it now because I'm ready. I just want to do it now because I'm ready.
Yeah. But I suppose that's good. Then not being ready. Like there's a lot of people. There's a lot of bodybuilders going in for shows, and they're not ready. They're like, yeah, man, it's just a bit of water. You're not.
No, you're still fat.
You're still fat.
You are still fat.
You've got a show in 3 weeks, and you need 10 weeks. Oh dear.
10 weeks. You have got 10 weeks to lose the water.
An extreme water drop.
Extreme water drop. All of the extreme. Right. Did you have any questions this week?
I didn't. That was a nice flex.
Listen, I'm bigger than you. Just stop trying to flex.
Well, one day I will be bigger than you.
One day. Oh, do you know what? I've just had a really interesting email just pop up on my screen, and it's an order from Rogue.
Is it?
Fucking hell. Bumper plates.
Ah, yeah.
Tricky ones.
Really? Okay.
Well, they're the bumper plates that are calibrated weights. So with me bench pressing and stuff like that, it's better if I can bench press at home because I've got Scott here to spot me, because today I did have a little bit of a bloody mishap, and it was a good job that Scott was here because I nearly decapitated myself and I fucked my shoulder up. And it was bloody light. It was light. I was doing 65 for 4. So, I did 2 absolutely perfect. I took my breath, came down on the 3rd lift, and that was it. My shoulder just went, fuck you. Nearly decapitated myself. Scott caught the bar and rescued me, obviously, thankfully, and then pushed it off my chest. But I was like, oh, that's weird. And now my shoulder is making a crunchy noise.
Oh dear, I hate that.
I know. So I don't really know what I've done.
Sometimes, see, I've had that, and sometimes it's nothing, and then it's completely better the next day, and then sometimes it just gets gradually worse and niggly, and you're like, I fucked it.
No, well, this is the problem, you see, because now it's just like, now I've had an immediate panic, and I'm like, shit, I fucked my shoulder. Damn it, I fucked my shoulder. Yeah. And I've got some heat onto it, and I've relaxed a little bit with it and stuff like that, and I'm just like, from a medical perspective, being a nurse, I know that you cannot immediately evaluate the injury that just happened 20 minutes ago because that is stupid. But what you do need to do is you need to evaluate it after about 36 to 72 hours. And if it is worse, then we'll go and get it checked out. Yeah. But it's making a very bad, raunchy, rusty noise. So we'll see. We will see. Any hoozle. So we have been chopsing for about 50 minutes, my man, which is quite long for us. It's not a bad one.
Well, we can't just rabble on, can't we?
We can. But I think we've had some good things in here today. Anything you would like to leave on with a positive note? When are we training again? Obviously, the gyms are open 25th. When are we training again?
Well, you said 27th for the leg day.
I did.
So.
For leg day. But then you were like, oh, maybe, I don't know, because my knees are hurting.
Well, see, my knee has been hurting. I did train quads a little bit, the other day.
Oh.
So I feel like I'm going to be fully healed.
By the 27th.
Yeah. And I'll be able to maybe squat something half decent.
Oh.
Maybe.
Are you actually squatting? Are squats in your plan? Are squats in your plan now? Have you got barbell squats?
Yeah,
or are you still on machine?
I put them in. I put them in because I love barbell squats. I love being strong on them, but I haven't done them. I haven't had them in my plan since I was 18. So starting back again was very, very weird. It just takes weeks and weeks to just gain stability and just gain the skill of actually doing the exercise again. But once that happened, the lift just started to climb, which is quite nice. And then I fucked my knee. Nice. So I have to start over again, which is shit because it was getting nice, but it's one of them. I really like being strong on the 3 lifts.
For sure.
Because that's what I started doing as a teenager. So, but I took them out. I know it's very hard to get back in.
It is. Well, maybe we'll squat the same then, because squats are my nemesis. Don't like squats.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like squats. I like squats, but I don't like squats. I think squats are the most phenomenal exercise. I really, really do. Heavy barbell squats are brilliant, but they don't like me.
Really?
So, no, they don't like me. So fuck it. We just won't squat. Or I do squat, but I squat within my limitations. Do you know what I mean? So I'm quite happy to do like 90 kilos for 10 or something like that. And that isn't impressive. But any more than that or any higher volume than that, and I'm just like, no, because I get annoyed because my internal physiology doesn't like it.
Yeah.
So, in fact, I think we'll talk about that the next podcast that we do in terms of your own biomechanics, your own physiology.
Yeah. Not everyone's built for squats, and people deem it as essential, and if you're not built for it, don't do it. But people try to force it, and they just hinder their own progression.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Right, that's a wrap then, my man.
Okay. I think. Cool. Have we got a special guest on for the next week?
We could have a special guest.
We could
have a special guest. I think we'll have a special guest.
Brilliant.
Answers on a postcard, people, if you want a special guest. If not, you can just have the ramblings of me and Mr. Richardson.
Yeah. Awesome. Cool. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. I'll catch you next week.
See you later.
See ya.